Good morning, everybody. This is my third lecture on the first lesson of Indian economic development. That is, what was the condition of Indian economy on the eve of independence. As I have told you about the three sectors of the economy, the that the all the three sectors of economy was exploited by the British government, and we inherit a stagnant and backward economy at the on the eve of independence. Now, in detail, we will see the agriculture on the eve of independence. Yani the agriculture sector which we inherited from the Britishers. What were the condition of agriculture sector at that time and at present? So first of all, and on the eve of independence, our agriculture sector was stagnant and backward, and all these characteristics which I have written on the board shows us the condition of the agriculture sector at that time. The first and foremost characteristics of agriculture sector is that there is low production and low productivity. While, as I had told you earlier, that most of the Indian population, most of the working population was engaged in agriculture. Most of the population agriculture sector में engaged थी. वो agriculture sector, as all of you know, our country is an agriculture land. The main occupation of our country is agriculture. So at that time, more than 70% of the people was engaged in agriculture, while land yields low production. And first of all, and it is low productivity. What is mean by production and productivity? Production means total output gain from total land, and productivity means output per hectare of land, yani output produced per hectare of land or average production is called productivity, while total output produced on total cultivable land is called total production. As you can see from the table also, that at the time of independence in 1947, total production of wheat was only 64 lakh tons, while that of 220 lakh tons of rice was produced on total cultivable land, and productivity was only 660 kg per hectare. Yani from 1 hectare of cultivable land, we would get, or we were producing only 660 kg of wheat. And in the same way, per hectare land, or from 1 hectare of land, we would only getting 665 kg of rice, which is less than required. And at present, the data of 2016 and 17 shows that production of wheat, total production of wheat was 984 lakh ton, while of rice it was 1102 lakh ton, while productivity of wheat it also increased from 660 in 1947 to 3,216 in 2016-17, and that of rice is also from 665 to 2,550 kg per hectare. And this shows that productivity of wheat increases by 5 times, and of the rice is also by near about 5 times. And total production is also increased many more times than 1947. This shows that the in 1947 our total production and productivity of land was very low. Second one, second characteristics is that there is high degree of uncertainty. Yani our production, our crop production was very highly uncertain. No one could predict whether the production of food grains will be high or low. Because why it is so? Why was it so? ऐसा क्यों था? Because before independence, agriculture was thoroughly dependent on rainfall, on monsoon. If there is good monsoon, there would be good crop. And if bad monsoon, means bad low rainfall and low production. Clear? Why it was so? ऐसा क्यों था? Why our agriculture was totally dependent on rainfall? It was so because no efforts was made by the then British rulers to develop permanent means of irrigation. Means they didn't made any efforts to dig the wells, to dig the canals, and so on. And due to which this is also one factor of low production and low productivity. The third characteristic is the dominance of subsistence farming. Prior to independence, farmers took agriculture as a means of their livelihood, as a means of their subsistence. First of all, you should know what is subsistence farming. Subsistence farming is a form of farming in which a farmer produces crops mainly for the survival of his family, or mainly for the provide, mainly for the for mainly to fulfill the needs of his family, basic requirements of his family, that is food, clothing and shelter. Clear? And when the motto of the farmer itself to provide the basic needs of his family, there is little surplus left for the sale in the market. Means at that time there is lack of commercial outlook in the farmers, among the farmers. Farmers में commercial outlook का lack था, कमी थी. They did not produce too much so that something surplus is left to sell in the market. So accordingly, agriculture was backward and poverty also dominated. Clear or not, beta? Yes. Another characteristic is gulf between the owners of the soil and tillers of the soil. As I have told you, the fourth and the sixth point are the something like the same. As I have told you, that British Raj was characterized a gulf between the owner of the soil and tillers of the soil. On the one hand, owners of the soil were getting richer and richer and richer because they were free to extract as much as they could wish from the tillers of the soil. So they were getting rich and richer, while on the other hand, tillers of the soil were getting poorer and poorer because tillers tillers of the soil are the real producer of the crops, but they were not the owner of the crops. They had only the right to grow crop, but not to sell the crops. And when they have had no right to sell the crop, they did not show any interest to improve agriculture. And on the other hand, as the owners of the soil were the owner of the crops, but they did not take interest in the improvement of the soil, in the improvement of the productivity and production of crops, because they could extract. They were interested only in the rental income from their land in the form of revenue. They have had no interest in improving the quality of land. So the gulf between the owners of soil and the tillers of the soil were widened in British rule. Clear? The next point is small and fragmented holdings. Land holdings, यानी the cultivable area, were small and fragmented. Fragmented means, what do you mean by fragment? Fragment means, suppose if a farmer had 100 hectares of land, if this 100 hectares of land is at a place, then it would be something like this. And if this 100 hectares of land is divided into 4 parts, and one part is here, 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 then this 100 hectares of land is called fragmented. And each fragmented part or these land holdings were mostly uneconomical because as to yield output, क्योंकि जो हमारा एक फुल पीस होता है, होल पीस ऑफ लैंड होता है, बिग पीस ऑफ लैंड होता है, इट इज कल्टिवेटेड इजीली. इसको अच्छी तरह से हम कल्टीवेट कर सकते हैं और इससे हम हाई आउटपुट ले सकते हैं. जबकि दूसरी तरफ यदि यही एक लैंड होल्डिंग छोटे 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 डिफरेंट पार्ट्स में डिवाइड हो जाए, तो उस पर सभी काम कल्टीवेट करना, सिंचाई करना, हार्वेस्टिंग करना, पेस्टिसाइड्स, इंसेक्टिसाइड्स का यूज करना सब डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. इसलिए जो बिकॉज ऑफ फ्रेगमेंटेड होल्डिंग्स, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल land holdings was small, and these small land holdings further is divided into fragments. So it proved less economical or uneconomical and yield low output at high cost. Cost high and output low. क्लियर बेटा? उसके बाद आता है land revenue system under British Raj. I have told you in detail in my previous chapter about this system. So no need to again explain here. And last one is forced commercialization of agriculture. Yes. As I have told you that farmers were cultivating to fulfill their basic needs or basic needs of their family, but Britishers forced the farmers to shift their subsistence farming to commercial farming. Why? ऐसा क्यों किया गया? Because farmers are forced to grow commercial crops and in it indigo in particular. Because क्यों? Because indigo was required by the textile farm industry in Britain for dyeing or bleaching of the textile. क्योंकि as I have told you earlier in my earlier videos that when British ruled India, at that time there was industrialization in Britain and many industries emerged in that time Britain, and these industries need raw material and indigo is one of them. So British rulers forced Indian farmers to grow indigo, and for this they lured farmers or forced them to accept advance payment for the cultivation of indigo. और इसके लिए उन्होंने फार्मर्स को अट्रैक्टिव इंसेंटिव्स दिए, उन्होंने फार्मर्स को एडवांस पेमेंट दिया जिससे कि वो इंडिगो को कल्टीवेट कर सकें. And what was its consequence? It exposed the subsistence farmers to the uncertainties of market. कैसे? Subsistence farmers को, now subsistence farmers became the puppet of the market, in the hand of market. वो मार्केट के हाथों की कठपुतली बन गए, because they have accepted, they were forced to accept the payment for indigo, so they have to grow, they have to cultivate indigo, and they have to sell that indigo in the market and purchase their basic needs from the market. तो उन्हें अब इंडिगो की क्रॉप को मार्केट में बेचना था और अपने सब्सिस्टेंस के लिए जो उनकी जरूरतें थी उनको मार्केट से परचेज करना था. While earlier they could grow grain for their family consumption. Now they needed cash to buy it from the market. पहले जहां वो अपने खुद के लिए, परिवार, फैमिली के कंजप्शन के लिए खुद ही फीड को, राइस को, ग्रेन को कल्टीवेट कर लेते थे, अब उन्हें वो सब मार्केट से परचेज करना पड़ता था जिसके लिए दे नीडेड कैश, बट द कैश वाज वेरी लो. They have seldom cash owing to their mounting debt. उनके because they have accepted the payment in advance. So to buy their own basic needs, they have to take loan from the money lenders, and this mounted their indebtedness. And what was the consequence of it? Perpetual indebtedness of the farmers and perpetual indebtedness of the farming, or perpetual stagnation of farming. Perpetual means continuous. Farmers became continuously more poor and poor and poor and poor. And because of this, agriculture remained stagnant. Clear? So we can say that on the eve of independence, Indian agriculture was both backward as well as stagnant. And Indian agriculture was backward because there is low productivity and low production. There was a high degree of uncertainty. There was dominance of subsistence farming, and land holdings were small and fragmented. And stagnation of agriculture was due to gulf between the owners of the soil and tillers of the soil, land revenue system, and forced commercialization of agriculture. In my next video, I will describe the characteristics of industrial sector on the eve of independence. Till then, you study the chapter, clear the concept, and like, share, and subscribe my video. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you again.